Wow.
I love donuts so much.
Mm. What's up? It's Kat and Deb from Two Market Girls. Welcome back to another vegan recipe. Not just any vegan recipe. Very important, very much needed vegan recipe.
Yeah. Another recipe from my childhood. Just been doing a lot of those. That's how I've been getting through in 2021.
I mean, I'm here for it because you had some pretty great food in your childhood apparently because it's all been so good.
Thank you. So we're doing donuts today. More specifically, we're gonna do malasadas, which is like no, it's not. It is a Portuguese donut. There is also a Hawaiian version of the Portuguese donut, but I think those are typically filled. We're doing the Portuguese version of this donut. But yeah, it's also like, it's a pretty easy donut to make. Like there's no shaping really involved. There's no you don't have to cut things out and all that kind of stuff. Like it's actually a pretty simple donut to make when it comes to donuts. And I don't know, it's really delicious. It reminds me, if there's any Canadians watching right now, it reminds me of beaver tails.
Yes.
So yeah, so I really wanted to make these donuts because again, I've also never made them growing up. I just eaten them a lot from Portuguese bakeries.
All right. Well, we should probably just get to the donuts so that we can eat the donuts. But make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss future vegan recipes every Sunday and whatever Wednesdays, every other Wednesday. But it's donut time.
Donut time!
Donut worry.
I love these donuts so much. To make your vegan malasadas, you're first going to start off by proofing your yeast by combining some warm water with some quick rise yeast and a little bit of white sugar, and then we're going to set that aside while we do the rest. Then to make your dough, we're first going to start off by warming some vegan butter and some non-dairy milk on the stove until just warmed through. We do not want it to boil, so once it's warmed to the touch and everything is nice and melted, you can just turn off the heat and set that aside. To a stand mixer, we're going to add some aquafaba with some white sugar, lemon zest, and salt, and beat that for 2 to 3 minutes or until it's really foamy. Then here is where you would slowly add in the warmed milk as it mixes for an additional 1 to 2 minutes. I forgot to do it here, which is why you're not seeing it in the video, but this is the point where you would add it. Then to a large bowl, we're going to add in that aquafaba mixture with the butter. Again, I forgot to add it in, so you'll see it come in a little later. But you're going to add in the aquafaba mixture with your proofed yeast and your all-purpose flour. Then using your hands, you're going to mix and knead that in together until the dough forms. Here you'll see me add in the melted butter because I realized I forgot it, and it worked just fine if you forgot it too, but it's best to add it in with the aquafaba beforehand. Then we're going to knead this dough until a smooth dough forms. Now depending on the flour you're using, depending on the brand, everything's a little different. If it feels a little too sticky, just add another sprinkling of flour. We want it kind of sticky, but not so that it's gooping all over your hands. Then you're just going to knead that until it's nice and smooth. Then we're going to cover with a kitchen towel and allow the dough to rest and rise for about 30 minutes. Next up, you want to dip your hands into slightly warm water and just make sure they're lightly coated all over so they're a little damp. Then we're going to knead the dough for an additional 30 to 60 seconds and then cover with the towel again and let it rise for at least another 60 minutes, maybe a little longer if you have the time. Now we're going to get ready to fry, so you want to heat 1 to 2 inches of vegetable oil in a deep cast iron pan to about 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Then you're going to dip your hand into a little bit of non-dairy milk, tear a golf ball sized piece of dough out, and then stretch it with your hands into a disc as much as you can without tearing it. If it tears, that's okay, just kind of push it back together so that there's no holes, and then just kind of keep stretching it until you get a nice thin disc. Then you're going to place that into heated oil and fry for about 2 to 3 minutes or until it's golden brown on both sides. Then you're going to preheat that for all of the dough. Finally, you're going to toss your fried malasadas donuts into some white sugar and you're going to serve. Oh my god, that looks so good!
She's only surprised because some of my earlier ones weren't as flat.
The earlier ones looked like the Hawaiian versions of them that are like typically filled. That one looks so good. Like it looks perfect.
Yeah. Okay, I worked on it.
Yeah. All right, ready to try it?
Yeah.
All right.
Oh my god.
It's so good.
Wow.
I love donuts so much. And there's just something about this donut that's just so good.
And the hint of lemon. I think that's what's like striking me as different than what I expected it to taste like, you know?
If I'm being honest, like I knew there was always something. I didn't realize there was lemon in these until I like started researching them, and I was like, wow, there's lemon zest in these. I guess that's what gives it. It's just like a little hint of like a zing, if that makes sense. But typically these are very like egg-based donuts. That's where I subbed in for aquafaba instead, and it worked really well. I think so, at least.
I don't know the difference, but how would I?
The ratio of crunch to like soft inside is the best.
Oh my goodness, yeah. Wow.
Yeah, highly recommend if you've never had malasadas before. I think this is a great, I'm biased, but I think it's a great recipe to try. They're really, really good and super delicious and really simple to make. Again, it's deep frying, but I find they're actually pretty simple to make. And like, it makes a lot of donuts.
See, yeah, it's a lot of frying because there's so much dough to get through. But I mean, it's worth it, right? Because like, who doesn't want a lot of donuts around?
And honestly, like, that's kind of how I remember malasadas kind of being. Like, there wouldn't just be like a couple of donuts. It would be like a tray of donuts at like family things. So like, I just think they're just made in giant batches regardless.
Wow, what a childhood. Giant platter of donuts. Yes.
It's just like, you know those like dollar store metal trays?
Yeah.
Basically just that full of donuts.
Oh my gosh.
Like a lasagna-sized container of donuts.
That is my preferred quantity of donuts.
Right? But yeah, I'm very, very happy with this recipe. I've been really having fun like veganizing my childhood recipes.
Yeah, I'm here for it. Keep going.
I don't really know what's next, but we will see.
I'm sure there's something.
Yes.
Okay. What should we talk about in the comments? Should we talk about donuts or should we talk about something else?
Let's talk about donuts, you know, because I think everyone, when you think of donuts, you think classic donut, you know, round shape with a hole in it, sprinkles, or like, you know, basic donuts. But I want to hear about donuts all around the world. What are donuts like where you're from?
I love that. Any kind of donuts are welcome here, right?
Exactly.
I don't want to think if there's a donut out there that I don't like, so let's just pretend there isn't.
I really don't think there would be. Like, why would there be a donut we wouldn't like? I can't even imagine a world like that.
No, I don't think so.
I also can't even imagine a world where there's somebody who just doesn't like donuts at all.
Okay, I thought of something else we need in the comments. We need donut puns, obviously.
Yeah, actually, yeah, donut is a great, great word for puns, so.
All right, well, donut, leave us hanging in the comments. We want to hear from you. And as usual, the recipe will be linked in the description box below. There's also a link to our podcast. It's called Camera Eats First. It comes out every Monday, everywhere that you get podcasts. We talk about veganism, how we make our recipes, how we run our blog. We do some trending news. We talk about some food shows. It's a really fun time, so go give it a listen. There's also a link to our Patreon community. Our patrons are a lovely group of people who help support the work that we do, and in exchange, we give them some bonus content. So if you're able to support us, we really, truly appreciate that. But if not, it's okay. Give this video a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, and share it with somebody else who needs some more donuts in their life right now. Do not hesitate to send it along. Don't let them go any longer without these donuts in their life.
Hit that notification bell so you do not miss another video. It's great.
Hey.
It's so good. It's just full of puns. I was like waiting, literally, I had it in my mind and I was like, Devin, I'm waiting for a moment so I can just like jump in, waiting for it. I feel like people could tell that I just had one pun ready to go. But yeah. follow, subscribe, what Devin said. Bye.
And donuts.
And eat donuts, because donuts make everything better.